What is going on, everyone? Mets Talk with Hayden J here. What's going on, everyone? It is that time again. It is opening day baseball for, I think, probably like 40 to 50% of the teams today. It is Mets baseball time, or even if you're not a Mets fan, it is baseball time. I am so happy. So before we get into all of today's topics, please, everyone, smash that like button, turn on those post notifications, subscribe to the channel, tell your friends about this channel, and much more. We have a lot to go on throughout the season, a lot of special stuff going on. I do want to note first, if you do hear any background noises like banging or anything, they are doing construction next door, so I really do apologize that. I don't think it should be that bad. I mean, I know my microphone and my computer isn't that great with picking up sound, but you may hear a couple loud noises throughout the stream, so I do want to apologize about that. But I wanted to come on here. It's opening day. We got to talk about it. So we are going to be going over the New York Mets and Washington Nationals series preview. How long has it been since I've said those words, talking about a series preview or whatever? So really happy about that. You know, it's pretty much a month ago today. The lockout was starting to end. I believe it ended March 10th or March 9th. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. But crazy how a month has passed and not much has changed since. So let's get into all of today's topics. We have really, honestly, a lot of good stuff to talk about in regards to the New York Mets' future. Obviously, the New York Mets are having their season debut against the Washington Nationals. So that means the New York Mets will be going to D.C. They are currently in Washington, D.C. as we speak, and I am beyond excited for that. So getting into game one, which will be at 7:05 today, I do know, yes, it was supposed to be at 4:05, but obviously due to weather, you gotta love weather, especially in April. I live in Florida, so I can tell you all about weather. Because of the weather, they wanted to move it back. It's clear and sunny out here, so that's why. But this is in D.C. So we will have Tyler Mcgill on the bump for the New York Mets. Super excited to see Mcgill. Obviously, he is going into his sophomore year. This will be his first full season that he will be pitching for the New York Mets. So that's really going to be something, fingers crossed that Mcgill can really be dominant for most of the season. That is my goal. One thing with Mcgill is I would really like him to be a little bit cognizant with the pitch count. Just because, keep in mind, yes, this is his first full big season in the major leagues, and I get that. But what you got to be cognizant about is that Mcgill has only pitched 70 innings max in the minor leagues. And he is going to pass that probably coming June or July around the All-Star break. That's what's going to happen. So you really are going to have to be aware with Tyler Mcgill on how many innings you're going to give this guy. Is he on a pitch count? I mean, I don't know. So that's going to be the biggest thing, I think, for Tyler Mcgill this season. But honestly, looking at his stats last year, and I don't want to pay attention to his, basic stats of a 4.6 win-loss record, a 4.52 ERA, and 99 strikeouts. I don't want to pay attention to that. One, I don't care about the basic stats. But two, when he was at a sub-2 ERA for most of the season. It's just he got roughed up in his last two starts. I think it was against the Dodgers and Yankees, and what pitcher wouldn't be? But really, I mean, a 1.2 whip isn't that bad. He has a nice four-seamer, a nice changeup. A lot of people really like that dominance that he showed in the second half of last year with that slider, with that fastball. He really did look really mature on the mound, and I think that is going to be huge for him this season. Obviously, the spin rate and the movement on his pitches are very similar to, a lot of elite players in the league. And I'm not going to, sit here and say, whatchamacallit, Tyler Mcgill is, Jacob deGrom or, Garrett Cole. No, I'm not saying that. But I'm saying he has shown dominant stuff that he could prove himself to be a really solid ball player. So he'll be on the mound for tonight. He will be making the start. Obviously, deGrom was supposed to make the start, but unfortunate events came down. So going on for the Washington Nationals, yes, I am repping the Nationals jersey today. Our boy Juan Soto, best player in the league, arguably. We will have Patrick Corbin. Patrick Corbin, no offense to him, listen, on this channel, I like to be professional. I don't like to, be immature. But Patrick Corbin is the Mets' son. Looking at Patrick Corbin, he has had his fair share of issues with facing the New York Mets, and I think that is going to be something that he is going to have to deal with tonight. He has a nice slider, though. He does have a nice chase rate. I will say that he has shown some really good stuff in the past, but the issue with him is he gets lit up by the Mets offense. I get it. He has a high chase rate. He has a nice slider. He definitely will make, a lot of result contacts. So we're going to see a lot of hitters making contacts, whether it's in play, foul ball, chopper, whatever. But that's the point that I'm going to make is looking at J.D. Davis, for example. J.D. Davis practically owns him for the most part. So it's going to be something that, Corbin's going to have to get by. So Patrick Corbin's on the bump for them. Getting into game 2. Game 2 is tomorrow at 7:05. I don't know why these are 7:05 games, but beats me. So getting into game 2, we will have Max Scherzer making his New York Mets debut. I am really excited for that. Can't wait to see Mad Max make his debut for the New York Mets. It's crazy seeing Max Scherzer pitching in a New York Mets uniform. I never really would have thought in a day that I'd be rooting for Max Scherzer. I thought he'd always be wearing this or maybe even a Dodgers uniform. I thought they would have re-signed him. But we will have Max Scherzer making his debut. Give me 1 second, guys. Hold on. Sorry about that. Okay, yeah, just got a text message. So Max Scherzer will be making his debut. He's a dominant pitcher, obviously. There's no doubt about it. High K rate, low walk rate, can't command of the zone, kills the strike zone, great arsenal of pitches. He practically has all 6 to 7 pitches. I mean, even as the, secondary extra pitches. So Scherzer is going to be dominant for the most part. I'm not really that concerned with his hamstring. You look at Scherzer's windup, and he doesn't really put a whole lot of pressure on his hamstring. So it's not like some other pitchers where, he's really putting pressure on his leg or his hamstring. So really not that worried. So I think he should be fine. Like if it was an arm issue or something with his forearm or, bones, yeah, that'd be an issue. But I'm not really worried for Scherzer. Yeah, I get it. He is a fine wine. He is getting up there in age. He's 37. You got him to a 3-year deal. I understand that. It is something that will be cognizant and in the back of my head. But I'm not sitting here saying, Scherzer is going to shut down, come in May. I don't think that's going to be the case for him. I think he really is a fine wine. You look at a lot of other guys throughout the league, Justin Verlander, Adam Wainwright. I mean, yeah, maybe they're not what they're used to be, but they're still dominant pitchers. So Scherzer will be on the bump for the New York Mets tomorrow. Tomorrow, the Washington Nationals will have Josiah Gray, recent prospect. We know that they got him in that trade deadline last year from the Dodgers when they gave up Turner and Scherzer. They got Josiah Gray back. He's not a bad prospect, not too shabby in my opinion. He is a rookie, as stated. Fair velocity, fair movement on his pitches, nothing crazy. Has the nice 4-seam fastball. So, there's really nothing crazy about that. Solid there, limits his barrels, like I said. Fair pitcher. So that's game 2. Getting into game 3, which will be Saturday at 7:05. A lot of 7:05 games. I don't know why. We will have Chris Bassett also making his Mets debut for the New York Mets. Elite sinker. He limits hard contact, limit barrels. Yes, he is coming from a pitcher's park. The Oakland Coliseum is a pitcher's park, so take his stats with a grain of salt. Though I will say, finishing top 10 in the Cy Young race in the American League last year, I definitely do think he is a solid pitcher, and he definitely can put up some solid stuff. So I'm really not that worried when it comes to Chris Bassett. I think he will be a good pitcher. Last year, he got hit in the face with the ball, unfortunately, and he was a little shaken up because of it. So, like I said, I'm not going to put so much, worry on that. I still think he is a really dominant pitcher. For the most part, I really don't have any concern about him. So, yeah, that's Chris Bassett. Obviously, for the national starter, it's going to be determined. Maybe you go Eric Fetty, Anibal Sanchez. Maybe you have an opener, although I don't really like the idea of an opener starting a game. Well, not so much an opener starting a game, but I don't really like the idea of an opener starting a game this early on in the season. I have no problem if an opener starts the game, coming, 2 weeks from now. But you really want to do you really want to worry out your bullpen and, really tire them out? You don't want your bullpen getting fatigue coming in the first week of April for baseball. You don't want that. So I think that's going to be something that the Nationals are going to have to make a decision there, because I think Eric Fetty pitched like 3 days ago in spring training. So 4 or 5. Yeah, he could start. So that's going to be game 3, getting into game 4, which is Sunday, the 1:00 game. We will have Carlos Carrasco also starting for the Mets. Did pitch for the Mets last year. Biggest thing for Carrasco this season, and this is just overall, get out of those first inning jams. That's my big thing for Carrasco this year. Get out of the first inning jams, and I think he should be fine. We saw so many times last year where he would start the game, and he would get lit up in the first inning. He couldn't find the command of the zone. He was giving up base hits, giving up homers, hard contact, soft contact down the line that, J.D. Davis or someone wasn't able to get. limit the barrels, keep the fastball, change up in the zone, maybe use that sinker, maybe use that slider a little bit. He definitely decreased the amount of times he used the slider, definitely could start to use that. I think if Carrasco works a lot with Jeremy Hefner this season, I really think he could try and get back to his old self. I know the both of them combined with the injury that he had last season, he had the setback, he didn't start till June. And then, missing some time due to, personal reasons with cancer. And I understand that. It definitely took off some time, but I don't think it's that. I think it's more so the injury that he did have. So we're going to have to see with Carrasco going ahead. But that is the New York Mets and Washington Nationals series preview. Now we are going to get into all of your guys' comments, questions, and concerns. So as always, if you guys have any comments, if you guys have any questions, if you guys have anything you just want to say in the comment section below, don't hesitate. Definitely drop it below. Let me know your thoughts. Like I said, I am beyond excited for this season. Win or lose, I'm excited that we get baseball back. Pretty much a month ago today, we weren't even sure if there was going to be a season or, if we would be saying, from a month from today, will there be a season? So it's just really good to have it back regardless. Listen, with the Mets, last year, a lot of Met fans, including myself, were very high on this team. And we were disappointed. And, I understand that. It sucked. But as of right now, I think the big thing you could do is just stay positive, have the season carry out. That's all you could do. What's going on, everyone? What's going on, Seth? Seth says Mets play baseball today, LFGM. Absolutely, man. So happy, like I just stated, that, we are going to see baseball today, And like I said, last month from now, we weren't sure if there was even going to be a season. A lot of people were, worried, is there going to be a season? Will there, be games? And no one was really necessarily sure. So, really good baseball is back, and let's go Mets. Stoney, what's going on, brother? Loyal fan to the channel. He says, hey, little bro, how's it going? All I got to say is now excited for the first game of the season to start. Let's go Mets. Let's have a great season. Absolutely, man. Really excited for the season coming up. Let's go Mets. iHeart Sports, what's going on, brother? Appreciate you tuning in. He says, hey, good luck to the Mets today. I appreciate it, man. I believe you are a Blue Jays fan. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe you are a Blue Jays fan. And I will say, Blue Jays, they're going to be a really interesting team this season. Blue Jays got some dominance this season. They are going to look like a really scary team. If the Mets were in the American League or the American League East and they were in the same division with the Blue Jays, I would be beyond scared. Blue Jays have a really dominant lineup. And think that they wanted Jose Ramirez. Obviously, that didn't happen. But they are going to be a really dominant team this season. Like I say, keep at watch. This Blue Jays team is going to be. It's so you're in a tough division. The American League East is a tough division. If they were in maybe the AL Central or a weaker division, I would say they could easily get 110 wins. But you're in the American League East, so you're going to have to tough it up with the Yankees, with the Rays, who are always in contention. That Moneyball mentality. They always seem to figure it out. The Red Sox, they really made some acquisitions this offseason. So, like I said, really interesting to see, what can go on for this Blue Jays team. I'm really excited for the Blue Jays this season. Jack, what's going on? Gio, Alex, Kobe, Marco, Trey, what's going on, guys? Joe, what's going on? LFGM, indeed, man. Trey says, key to the Mets season, hit with men in scoring position. Hopefully new blood will change old habits. Scoring without needing to hit home runs will make it break the season. Yeah, I kind of agree with what you're saying there. Obviously, I agree. Hitting with runners in scoring position will be the thing to determine if the Mets can be successful. Health aside, we saw so many times last year where the Mets scored so many low-run games. And regardless of that, we saw so many one-run games. Let's say Mets playing the Marlins, 5-4 Marlins. Mets went 2 for 13 with runners in scoring position and stranded 10 guys on base. That was the issue we saw so many times last year. This team needs to be clutch. They need to hit with runners in scoring position. And I really think they brought back some type of remedy to fix that in signing Eric Chavez to be the hitting coach. We saw so much fundamental hitting in spring training so far. Yes, it's spring training. Take it with a grain of salt. I don't like to use spring training as an analogy so many times. But we really saw so much different hitting where we saw guys, taking 3 pitches so many times last year. swinging at the first pitch, swinging at the first pitch, swinging at the first pitch. They're taking pitches. They're swinging with 0-2 counts and getting on base, like McNeil did in 2019. Use that mentality, and that will win you ball games. And then there's so much more to coming in clutch. You have new base coaches at first and third. At first base, you have Wayne Kirby, and then at third base, the third base coach, you have Joey Cora, brother of Alex Cora. And we see their mentality of how things go. Stealing bases is going to be huge this season. Tagging up on sac flies from second to third, or third to home, which is basic, but second to third could be something. This team really, if they could show speed on the base paths, like the Dodgers, like the Padres, like the Marlins, that could really help them out offensively. Score runs. Listen, I would much rather see, home runs and, doubles down the line, but score runs. If you're going to get sac flies, I'll take it. Coming the playoffs, yeah, you're going to have a little bit of a different concern. You're going to need to start, scoring runs at different paces, because playoff teams, if you're an elite team, you're not gonna, play like that. So, like I said, really interesting to see how the Mets play this season. Hopefully, they could play good. We'll see. Kobe, what's going on? Kobe says, can't wait to see the Mets offense power out their talent with Lindor, Alonso, Marte, Escobar, McNeil, and so much more. Absolutely, man. I mean, I am excited for, a lot of these old guys still that we've had the last couple years. And, of course, the new guys. I think Marte, Escobar, Canna. I know you didn't mention Canna, but I think they will definitely make a big mark and a lot of noise this season for the Mets. So I am beyond excited to watch this team play. And then even in terms of the pitching depth, they've really added a lot of guys. I think the Ottavino signing was really great. Obviously, I did recap all these, but just off the top of my head, I think it is definitely going to be huge. Game 1 prediction, says Alex. Lindor and Davis will both go deep today. Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you this, man. I think it's pretty obvious to see Davis go deep today because he's facing Patrick Corbin. And looking at the stats of J.D. Davis when facing Patrick Corbin, they are something all right. I mean, we're talking, 1,000 OPS. I mean, we're talking really good numbers here. So I wouldn't be surprised. Lindor, yeah, I mean, I could see Lindor. Lindor's been nice spring training. He was a little quiet the last 2 games in spring training, which, listen, he's not going to, hit home runs every spring training game, but he's posted good stats. And listen, with Lindor, I get it. He posted dominant stats in 2021 spring training. These were a little bit better, and we saw a little bit different hitting. But overall, I mean, I am excited for tonight's game, and I hope, and yeah, those would be good predictions. Alex, maybe add Pete Alonso to that. I know Alonso does have good numbers against Patrick Corbin and just at Nationals and Nationals Park alone. So definitely Pete Alonso definitely could hit a homer tonight, maybe. Cal, what's going on, man? Appreciate you tuning in. Joe says, great, well-deserved honor for Mcgill. Yeah, I think Mcgill has really proven himself, and I think he definitely does deserve this. I agree, Joe. Kobe says, what's the Mets' biggest strength and biggest weakness for this season? Yeah, I mean, that's a good question, man, and I've been asked that a lot these last couple of days. I think the biggest thing for the New York Mets going ahead is going to be hitting with runners in scoring position. I really do. I think that's going to be something. I think the pitching is a little bit – I think the pitching's fine. It's the health of the pitching, though. If we're talking about pitching, it's the health of the pitching. That's going to be something. If, this team can be healthy – in terms of their pitching staff, if DeGrom can come back June and not face any more setbacks, I think this team definitely can be solid. And I think they're a solid team regardless. So when it comes to weaknesses, I really think it is hitting with runners in scoring position and being clutch. We'll see how that goes. Hopefully Eric Chavez and, the new base coaches are going to bring a remedy to that and really fix that issue that they had last season. And in terms of strength, I guess the rotation. I mean, you really have without DeGrom, listen, I get it. Without DeGrom, it definitely, listen, you don't have DeGrom, and I understand that. But it's not, oh, my God, it's the end of the world. The Mets are out of playoff contention. It's not like that. Having DeGrom, yes, really does. Not having DeGrom is a domino effect. It puts more innings on the bullpen because DeGrom will go out there and give you, 8 innings, 7 innings, and really, give the bullpen a rest. And that's what you like to do for the first couple of games of the season. So we'll see. I mean, like I said, we'll see. But in terms of strength, I got to go the rotation. Obviously, you have DeGrom, Scherzer, Bassett, Walker, Carrasco, McGill, Peterson, and then you go down the list. So that rotation depth is something. I think some other strengths is you really do have, all-star caliber offensive players. Obviously you have the power of Pete Alonso. You have, the speed of Escobar, the high average of Nimmo, of McNeil. So I think they definitely do have a lot of strengths, this team. Stoney says, hope we have a high-power offense this year so that they can score runs. Absolutely. Score runs. Score runs. That's all I say. Score runs, get guys in scoring position and, play it out like that. And I think, like I said, you have new coaches. Obviously, the Quattro Bums and Rojas's and those clowns are out. I don't know what their mentality was when it came to being clutch last year, but it just was not effective for this team. It just didn't work. So we'll see. And, I trust Buck Showalter. I think he is, a really good manager to make sure that's done. Connor, what's going on? Connor Wick says, let's go Mets. Appreciate you tuning in, man. Connor's going to add and say, I like Mcgill. I think he took big steps forward in last season professionally. The league started to adjust him a bit last year, but he's got a size and stuff to be solid, to be a solid big league pitcher. Absolutely, man. Like I said, I echoed it before. I don't know if you heard, but I'll say it again. Mcgill was a solid pitcher last year. Don't take a look at his ERA or, win-loss record. That's basic. If you want to look at his ERA at least, look at it in July or August. He got roughed up in September. This dude was having a sub-2, sub-3 ERA for most of the season last year. He just really, really got roughed up in the last month against the Dodgers, against the Giants, against the Yankees. And I think he got fatigued. He exceeded his, 70-inning max pitch count, which was in the minor leagues. He exceeded that. So, yeah, he got fatigued. He got worn out. But, he started spring training. He's looked good in spring training. His last outing was dominant. No runs scored. He had a great spring training, so I'm really not worried about him there. I just think it's going to come down to, you don't want to overuse this guy. You really don't. You don't want to overuse this guy. Because that can be an issue. So, like I said, hopefully he tries to get acclimated and he doesn't get overused a lot this season. Stoney, what's going on, Stoney? Oh, Stoney says, I'm happy that McNeil hit good in spring training. Finally, he looked more comfortable at the plate. Absolutely, man. I will say McNeil looked much better at the plate in spring training. Last year, constantly we saw him swinging at the first pitch. I think the anger was a big thing with him. It makes sense. Like, baseball aside, if you're getting frustrated with something, it doesn't help the situation out. McNeil got really frustrated last year, and I think that was really a big thing for him. So fingers crossed. He can control his anger. Keep one stance. Don't constantly keep changing your stance, because we saw so many times last year where McNeil was having a different stance, and I think some of that was due to the injury. I understand that. So now I don't think McNeil's going to have to worry about his hamstring. So fingers crossed that McNeil can keep the same stance so he could have the same stride, the same swing. The launch angle, the exit velocity are around the same type of thing. And when it comes to McNeil figuring himself out as a hitter, he's not a power hitter. You're an average contact hitter. Go with that. Don't do that 2019 second half trying to hit long balls. I don't care, if your home runs are going up. Home runs, leave that to Pete Alonso, Eduardo Escobar, and Francisco Lindor. McNeil, get on base. Hit the ball around. Go for BABIPs. Pull the ball down the line. I know he's not really a high walk guy. I know he has a high walk rate, but he's not known for that. Do that. That's what I say for McNeil. So he did look good in spring training. He started off slow, but he really started to show himself back. So I think McNeil definitely could be something this season. Cal says, I am fully confident in Tyler McGill. He is an excellent number 4. In fact, I don't know what the big deal is about. I don't know what the big deal is about who pitches the opener. It's number 1 of 162. Yeah, I see what you're saying, man. I think the thing is you don't want to use him out so much, like I said. First impressions are a big thing. 24 hours from now, we're going to have listen, teams look completely different from the first game to the last game. I understand that. But I think what you really do have to look at with McGill, and I'm going to constantly keep saying it again, is the pitch count inning. And I really hate to see them, really rough up McGill early on in the season. And then, come in July and August, he's fatigued because that innings pitch count is going to get to the best of him. I don't think it will, but hopefully it doesn't. I get it. It's not a big deal. Yeah, if you used an opener, that'd be even worse, because why do you want to push up your bullpen on game one? So that's the big thing. I just think it's the thing is, it's game one, Mets fans, baseball fans, they're impatient. They want to see their team win the first game. I know the Mets, I read something. The Mets have had like a .695 winning percentage on opening day. They were like, I think it was like 60-39 or something. No, that doesn't make any sense. They haven't been around that long. I think it was around the lines of like 49 and like 16 or something since like 1970. I don't know. So the point is they have a good winning percentage on opening day. They always seem to play the Nationals on opening day. That seems to be the case. Nationals or Braves. I'd like to see them maybe start playing some out-of-division teams. That'd be kind of cool. But, get the foot in the door, I guess. Gio says, should the Mets change games to 6:10? Oh, time. I wouldn't be against it. I know that we saw them change the time of games in spring training. A lot of spring training games were 6:10 or 6:40, opposed to 7:05 or 7:10. And honestly, I wouldn't be against it. As a college student, I could say, sleep is kind of my friend, but not on the other hand. Even if, kids are in school, people are at work, you got to wake up early. You got to wake up, 6, 7, 8 o'clock. And, sometimes these 7:10 Met games, won't end until 10, 10:30. And I mean, maybe that's not super late for me, but for I think a lot of other people, it is very late. So that's why I think maybe it wouldn't be the worst thing. I think most people are out of work by then. I think the average American probably eats dinner at 6 o'clock. So I honestly would say that I think that definitely can work, in my opinion. I definitely would be open to 6:10 games. I don't know. I know some teams, like the Phillies are changing theirs to like 30 minutes before their original or 45 minutes before their original. Obviously, when you're playing a West Coast team or on the road, you're not really going to be able to work that out. But as of right now, I think the schedule was set. So I don't think they're going to have 6:10 games this year, but maybe, that would have been good to add in the CBA, but that's more like team based. So I think that definitely can be something for the Mets next season, not this year, obviously, because your schedule's set. But I definitely would have been open for this team to have those early starts. I think could have really been nice. LFGM, absolutely, Alex. Marco says, what's your biggest concern for the Mets this season? Yeah, kind of answered it before, hitting with runners in scoring position. Trey says, was Michael Conforto smart to turn down the Mets contract offer? Listen, 1 year, $18 million. I think that was fair for Conforto. I think it really was. The qualifying offer, in my opinion, was the best thing for him. Coming off of a down year, do I think he's going to be the type of hitter that we saw this season or last season? No. I think he's going to be a much better hitter. I think he had just a slump in the worst time as possible. When it comes to Conforto, he's a Boras guy. I get it. Scott Boras is really a tough guy. He's a tough son of a bitch. I respect him. He stands up for his guys. Usually tries to make his guys go in the route of free agency. Listen, that's fair. I get that. I mean, he did it with Harper. He did it with Strasburg. I don't know if he's a Machado guy or not, but he usually does that. So, I don't think Conforto is going to be those guys, obviously, financially or player-wise. But, if he wants to get $250, he's really going to have to find a team. I don't know if the Mets are willing to give it to him. My opinion, not really. I think it was probably best he just takes the qualifying offer. But, hey, that's me as a Mets fan saying it. Connor says, which team will run the NL East in 2022? Good question, but honestly, I got to go the Atlanta Braves. Everyone always doubted the Braves every season, in the offseason. Really, the last couple of years, everyone would always say, like, oh, the Braves are a second or third place team. And it took them, winning a World Series and losing Freddie Freeman to pretty much change their mind. So I don't really see why that was, but hey, I can care less. I think it is the Braves division. They really are a dominant team. If Soroka can come back on time. But still, you have that rotation, and it's not bad. They got Colin McHugh, underrated guy. You have Ian Anderson. Like I said, they got the guys there. You got the offensive production there. They brought back Rosario. Solid bat comes into play when it matters. You have Austin Riley, a.k.a. Chipper Jones 2.0, as I like to call him on the channel. Ozzie Albies, Dansby Swanson. They got Matt Olson still, obviously. You re-signed him. I mean, I think it would have been a disaster if they lost Freeman and then they got some, nobody first baseman. They still got a, Gold Glove, all-star caliber first baseman. So that was still good for them. So that's why I still consider them in to an extent. It's the Braves division. It is. I think it is the Braves division. Michael Conforto, yeah, he had a little injury thing. I think he hurt his leg when doing some diving drills and fundamentals down in Florida, and that kind of postponed his free agent offseason, whatever you want to call it, him speaking with teams, because obviously the value would have gone down, or just wanted to wait and see how he was. But he's fine now, and I think free agent talks have resumed. So I don't know what Conforto's going to do. I don't know if he's going to wait till August. I don't know if he's going to wait another week. Will he sign in 2 hours? I couldn't tell you. Joe says, if the Yankees don't agree to an extension with Judge, would you swap Nimmo for Judge? Ooh, that's a good question. Well, Nimmo's a center fielder, and I mean, we haven't really seen much of Judge in center. I believe he'd be a free agent, after this offseason, right? So, honestly, I wouldn't swap. Well, the thing is, why swap him with Nimmo? Why not swap, like Canna, and then you could put Canna on the bench or something like that? Because I'd rather Judge in right field, regardless of what team he's playing on. So I'm going to say no to Nimmo, but, maybe yes to a third or fourth outfielder type of guy. New people are watching this video. Yes, sir. Everyone, listen to Stoney. See, we got a couple new people in the comment section and in the live stream. So definitely do what Stoney says. Hit that like button and subscribe. Joe says if Judge does hit free agency, it's possible Billy Epler won't sign him to keep his good relationship with Cashman. That could be a possibility. I mean, Yankees and Mets aren't necessarily like trading partners. I mean, they had that one with Yoli Rodriguez and Miguel Castro, but that's minor. That's not like, multi-billion, $1 million, move. Cal says, which Met will have a breakout season? In terms of which Met will have a breakout season, I'm going to go Tyler Mcgill. I really think he's going to have a big season. Alex says, will Jeff McNeil bat 300 this season? Yeah, I mean, I think it's possible. I mean, I'm not like, crazy about batting average, but I think it's possible he really starts to get back to that on base, high average, high OPS type of guy. If, like I said, he keeps the same stance, which I think he will. I think last year really the hamstring made him change his stance, and if he can control his anger, I guess. Kobe says the American League has so many great prospects playing their first season this year. So many Rookie of the Year candidates. Absolutely. Julio Rodriguez, Spencer Torkelson, Bobby Witt Jr., Hunter Green, CJ Abrams, I just saw for the Padres, just was announced today. So many top prospects. So, I mean, I don't know who would be now. I think Adley Rutschman, I mean, he's still the first one, but, I mean, then you kind of have a couple guys in that 2nd-3 spot that weren't there before. So who knows? Maybe Alvarez can be, a 5'6" guy, coming now. Jack in the Box says Tyler Mcgill is going to be a very good, I'm assuming you meant to say pitcher. I believe he will stay in the rotation. He will replace Carrasco or Walker because at least one of them is going to have an issue during the season. I see what you're saying. And I think McGill is that number one depth guy. If, Walker or whoever goes down, in this case, that's DeGrom now for this month, you have McGill to fill into that spot. I'm not crazy about McGill being the number one. I'd rather him be the number 4 or 5 and have Scherzer be the number one. I know what's his face? Buck Showalter said that he's going to leave, Bassett, Walker, and Carrasco as the 3rd, 4th, and 5th starter. I don't really like that. I'd rather everyone move up a spot. I don't think it makes a difference. So I don't know. Maybe that was just for this next two, whatever you want to call it. I don't know if that was just for the next two series. I think. Seth says, planning on attending any games this season? Yeah, man, I am. I live in Florida. I'm about good hour and 15 minutes from Miami, north of it. So I'll definitely be attending some Marlins and Mets games. I don't think the Mets come down here until like July, so I'll have to wait a bit. But Marlins are honestly looking like an interesting team this year, so who knows? Maybe I'll definitely attend some Miami Marlins games this season, depending on who comes into town. I really do like interleague games. So like when the Marlins play the Mariners or Astros or whatever. I really do like interleague games. I don't know why. So maybe like when the Mariners come into town or Astros or Rangers or whatever. Maybe I'll stop by, see something. So that'll be cool. I don't know if I'll be attending any games at Citi Field, unfortunately, but definitely Mets and Marlins. I will be attending 2 Cubs and Padres games in Chicago in June, as well as a Reds and Brewers game in Cincinnati on Father's Day, as well as a Tigers and Blue Jays game at Comerica in June. So definitely got some good games lined up. I will be talking about those games a little bit later in the next couple weeks to months. So definitely we'll be attending a lot of games this season. I know a lot of people have, season ticket plans and that stuff, and that's great. I know I'm really excited for baseball this season. Jose, what's going on, brother? Jose says Pete Alonso was going to hit 2 homers tonight. I like that, man. Everyone be like Jose. Jose has a good analogy. Yes, I definitely hope that Pete Alonso can hit 2 home runs tonight. That would be ideal for me, and I would accept that. Let's get a hit. I mean, that's like the least thing I'll take. I'll take 2 homers. Hey, I'll take the cycle. Why not? But no, Alonso does have good numbers at Nationals Park, so that's why I'm not like, it's really random. Plus, it's Patrick Corbin. So, Pete Alonso, I couldn't tell you his stats off of Patrick Corbin, but I can tell you JD Davis's. Hold on. Give me 1 second, guys. Give me 1 second, guys. Apologize about that. I'm getting a text from work. All right. Sorry about that. Pete Alonso. Yeah, hope so. Thomas says, if this was the case of having vintage DeGrom back healthy, Carrasco in form, and a career year from Edwin Diaz, they could argue Mets being better. Otherwise, it's the Braves division. Yeah, I see what you're saying, man. And honestly, I agree with you. Like I said, if you had DeGrom healthy, not even vintage, but just healthy, Carrasco back to his vintage form, and then Edwin Diaz back to his 2018 form, or just kind of be a little bit like how he was this past season, then I think they are an arguable good team. But I worry, with the 2 of those guys. Trey says, who is the best DH in the NL? That's a good question. I mean, overall, I'd say Ohtani, but in the NL, I don't know who's going to be the solidified DH for each team. I don't know if they have a solidified DH or if they're going to, rotate lefty versus righty in terms of pitcher or batter. So I don't know how teams are going to approach that. Phillies have Castellanos. I think that's a fair DH. Or Schwarber. I think that's a fair DH. Mets will arguably have Cano, Davis, or Smith. I think those are fair guys. Braves will have probably maybe Ozuna if he's back. Maybe even Acuna because of the injury concern, and they don't want him playing in the outfield. I could see that. Nationals have Nelson Cruz. I don't know who the Brewers are going to have. Cubs, I don't know. Pirates, Reds, nothing. Dodgers, maybe Muncy. I think Muncy could make a case because he'll probably play DH. Giants, Padres. Yeah, I'd probably say maybe Muncy. Probably Mets, Dodgers, or Phillies, I'd say. Yeah, probably Dodgers, yeah, Muncy. Joseph, as the great Buck Showalter would say, play better. Exactly, man. Keep it basic. Kobe says, breakout player predictions. Interesting. In terms of overall MLB, I would like to see Keston Hiura from the Brewers. Obviously, the last 2 seasons, he has looked like a completely different hitter at the plate. I was watching MLB Network last night, and they were talking about it. So that's why I'm going to say Keston Hiura. His swing has looked completely different. I mean, he changed his approach, and he went back to his old approach. That toe-tapping, nice stride, elevate the bat, bring it up like he used to have, before 2 years ago. So hopefully Keston Hiura, I think, could be that guy to have a breakout. Well, no, you said breakout. I guess that's more of a bounce back. But no, honestly, I could see Keston Hiura still being a little bit more dominant than what he used to be. Guess breakout. Yeah, maybe Dom Smith if he gets more playing time. Tyler McGill. Those are some guys from the Mets. In terms of MLB overall, some prospects, obviously. Julio Rodriguez, Bobby Witt Jr., O'Neal Cruz. I think Brian Reynolds can definitely have a better season. I mean, he was dominant last year, but I think he could explode, get some MVP votes. Little hot take there, maybe. Maybe Bryson Stott, maybe from the Phillies. He could do something. He looked good in spring training. So a lot of good breakout players this year. And that's the thing about, Rookie of the Year voting is like, it's never who's assumed. Last year, okay, in the American League, Randy Arozarena was assumed because he had a small sample size from 2020. But in the NL, who had Jonathan India winning it? Nobody. So, Rookie of the Year is so questionable. And I mean, rookies, they'll have a good first 2 months, good month. They could have a good week and then be completely different guys. So we'll see. But in terms of my Rookie of the Year predictions, I'm probably going to go Julio Rodriguez in the American League. And in the NL, probably, O'Neal Cruz will be starting the season in AAA. Foolish move by the Pirates. I don't know why that is. But maybe Hunter Green, I think. And I doubt it's even going to be, it's probably going to be some other guy. We'll see. LFGM, I agree. Marco says Tyler McGill deserves to be in the rotation at some point during the season. Yeah, I definitely think, like I said, McGill right now is that guy to be the number 6 starter. If someone goes down, he steps up. But just my biggest concern is the innings pitched and pushing him. I don't want him to be pushed so much coming June or July, he breaks. I don't want to see that. But I definitely think he definitely has earned that spot. But, I don't want to put so much faith on a guy who's making his first full season as a rookie. I don't want to do that pressure, but I think he is a solid guy. Joe says, only so many pitchers get to pitch opening day. It's a big deal. Yeah, it's an honor to pitch on opening day. Usually the last couple of years it's been DeGrom. I want to say in 16 it was Syndergaard maybe. So usually the last couple of years it's really just been DeGrom. So yeah, it's interesting. Who would have thought? If there was no injury, it's DeGrom, but yeah. Connor says, what would you grade the New York Mets offseason on a scale of 1 to 10? I give them a solid 9 or 8. Obviously that they went for some bats in Canna, in Marte, in Escobar. They went in some pitching for Scherzer, Bassett. They got some depth. You helped out the bullpen a little bit. Ottavino. Dolly Rodriguez just recently. Maybe they could have re-signed Aaron Loop or went for another left-handed presence. I think would have been like the cherry on top. So I'll give them an 8. LFGM says Kobe. I agree. Thomas says the New York Mets are playing Mets baseball today, and I'm so happy and hyped for this. Absolutely, man. Same here. I cannot be happier. Stoney says, who's your favorite current Met? Pete Alonso, no doubt about it. Yeah, Pete Alonso. So hyped baseball's back. Absolutely, Marco. Stoney says, well, I'm out. Awesome stream, little bro. LFGM, appreciate you tuning in, man. Cal says, did you see the $150 burger at Brave State? Yeah, Truist Park. I did see that. I don't know what's on it. I think it was like some type of fish or something on it, because for $150 for a burger, listen, I know MLB stadiums are expensive with food, but there has to be something on it like that's like, being imported from somewhere overseas, or some type of fish or seafood. Because I know usually that, seafood could be pricey. Yeah, I have to see what's on it, but it looked good. I don't think I would buy it. I'm not spending $150 for a burger. Usually I spend usually burgers are like $10 at a stadium, which is too much in my opinion, but still, when I go to a stadium, I'm basic, I don't go crazy on food. Next year I'll be able to drink. I'm 20 now. I'll be 21 next year. So next year, maybe I'll probably get a beer at a stadium. But as of right now, usually I just get a soda, go for some Coke, root beer, whatever, something like that. Go, for a burger, get some popcorn or something. I'm basic. I'm not crazy. Marlins had, Lone Depot Park, which is the stadium I usually attend the most, has a lot of seafood options, and I guess it makes sense. Florida tropical themed. It's all right. City Field, I've been to Shake Shack. I do want to try the polar bear burger. If I ever make my way to City Field in the next couple years, I will definitely try the polar bear burger. Brad, what's going on, man? He says, what's up? Big day today. Let's go Mets. Absolutely, man. Huge day today. I appreciate you tuning in. Trey says, what are your goals for the channel this season? It's interesting. Yeah, I don't really have any goals, as you could say, mainly. Obviously, I recently just hit 600 subscribers, I think, just about. Maybe get to 750 by the All-Star break could be nice. Otherwise, I don't really have any goals. I do this for fun. It's not like I want to, get something out of this. I do this because it's fun. I love communicating with so many Met fans around the country and who have different opinions, and not even Mets fans, whether it's Nationals, Dodgers, Braves, Diamondbacks. I just love communicating with baseball fans on here and expressing my thoughts. So I don't really have any goals, but I mean, if you're talking like maybe the milestones, maybe hitting 750 subscribers by the All-Star break could be nice, and just continue doing what I'm doing, I guess. Robert says, what's up, Hayden? Ready for the season tonight? I am, man. I am really excited for opening day. Obviously, I think the Brewers and Cubs play the first game today at 2 o'clock. Yankees and Red Sox was postponed till tomorrow. That was supposed to be the 1:10 start. Kind of unfortunate, but hey, whatever. It's not the end of the world. So otherwise, super excited for things to come ahead. Just really excited for Major League Baseball. I mean, like I said, I'm glad that baseball is back. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm just happy Major League Baseball is back. Who would have? We were all sitting here a month ago wondering, will there be a season? And luckily we are fortunate now, and there is a season. We have a season, so really happy that we are here. Appreciate you tuning in, Robert. Kobe says, will the game recap and preview streams be the same as last year? Yes, they are going to be the same as last year. They are going to be the same as last year, where I'm going to recap each series. I'll do them in between each series. So I'll do a series preview and a series recap, or recap then preview, whatever. So I will be doing that. And obviously, I usually like to recap them and preview them for a total of 10, 15 minutes. And then obviously, read your guys' comments, questions. If there's anything huge like an injury or a fight or something, I'll cover that. I do notice that we are getting a lot of non-Met fans on the channel, like Blue Jays or Phillies, or a lot of Blue Jays fans, which I like. I think they're a good team ahead. Maybe we'll start talking a lot more MLB. I do want to start talking more prospects. I have been, I do live in Florida, so obviously I do have so much access to, a lot of minor league affiliate teams. So I do maybe want to start getting, brush up some knowledge on prospects. So maybe, call-ups or how certain prospects are panning out. So I definitely do want to do something like that. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. I do have a lot of things will probably be the same as last year in terms of the channel. Obviously, I hope the Mets season itself is different for the second half, at least. So yeah, I mean, like I said, really excited. Baseball is back. Really excited. I mean, like I said, Mets play tonight, 7 p.m. I know they are doing a lot of new Apple TV and stuff like that. So that's going to be interesting. And we do have a little breaking news here. According to John Heyman on Twitter, the Pittsburgh Pirates are close to an 8-year extension, $70 million for Ke'Bryan Hayes, a 1-year option. Interesting. Obviously, the Pirates, I know we just spoke about non-Mets, and we'll get into that. That's interesting. Pirates, I mean, Ke'Bryan Hayes got a sample size last year. He looked solid. He looked like a future player with great potential. Kind of makes you think, why not call up O'Neal Cruz or put him on the roster this season? Is it service manipulation? Is it just them being fools? I don't know. And obviously he does have one, I think, player. I don't know if it just says option. I don't know if it's a player or club option. So obviously really, really excited. I guess really exciting if you're a Pirates fan. So that's going to be interesting. So yeah. That is going on for the Pirates. Just checking on Twitter, see if anything's new. CJ Abrams will be making the roster this year for the San Diego Padres. So that's really cool. Exciting for that. Pete Alonso just said on his Instagram page, the 2020 season starts today. The end goal is to live the dream of it being the last team standing. Can't wait to compete and win with the boys. Really good inspiration there for Pete Alonso. Definitely. I mean, arguably should be captain of this team. I know captains in baseball isn't really a thing as much as what it used to be. But, I really think Pete Alonso should be the captain of this team. I mean, the leadership, the clubhouse presence, I think he should really be the captain of this team. Like I said, teams don't really do it anymore. I mean, since David Wright, they haven't had one. since the Yankees, I mean, Gio retired. Unfortunately, they haven't had one. Teams don't really have captains. I mean, I think that's, not really a baseball thing. I think it's for other sports, but I wouldn't be against, Pete Alonso could be the Mets captain. Maybe Judge could be the Yankees captain, I guess. Say Dodgers would be tough. They got so much talent. Maybe Kershaw, just because that veteran leader presence. Nationals, Soto. Phillies, Harper. Marlins, maybe Alcantara. Like I said, I'm not crazy about pitchers being captains. I mean, I know the Mets had John Franco back in the day as a captain, but still. Maybe Braves, Acuna. So, some good captain options out there. Alrighty, everyone. So we probably are going to call it a stream here. I really, really do appreciate everyone for tuning into today's stream. We really had a great stream. I know it's kind of an earlier stream. I know, a lot of people are in school and work right now, and I understand that. But I really do appreciate you guys tuning in. Really excited for, just for the season coming ahead. We're going to have a lot of good stuff on the channel. I'm really hoping that, the Mets can put up a really good season this year. Obviously last year, started off good and then everything kind of went to kaputskis. Hold on. Okay, yeah, so it is a player option for Brian. It's great. Obviously do appreciate everyone for tuning in, with all the stuff going on with the Mets. Hopefully, things could look good. We're going to have to see. And at least it looks like a tough division. It seems to really be a three-way tie for, Braves, Mets, Phillies. That's really what it's going to seem to be. I think the Marlins will definitely make some noise. I think they can certainly be around a 500 team. And I think the Nationals are unfortunately out of it. But, who knows? We'll see. Who knows? Maybe if Juan Soto hits 300 home runs, then I think the Nationals can definitely do something. But, otherwise, I really do appreciate everyone for tuning into today's stream. I did upload a video yesterday going over the New York Mets, whatever you want to call it, the New York Mets offensive or the New York Mets lineup. I did upload that video yesterday. So if you guys could, definitely please feel free and check that video out. Give that video a like, comment, tell your friends about that video, whatever, and let me know your thoughts about that. As always, hit that like button, turn on those post notifications, subscribe, tell your friends about this channel. The goal is, I guess, if I want to set a goal, is to hit 750 subscribers by, I guess, the All-Star break would be ideal. Otherwise, like I said, I am beyond excited for this New York Mets season and just baseball overall. I know that, I've been kind of branching out, obviously I still love the Mets, but I've been branching out to a lot of other teams. And I think that's good. I would like to take the channel in that direction coming ahead. So, otherwise we are going to have to see what can go on ahead. So appreciate everyone for tuning in. Till next time, baseball fans, let's go Mets. See ya.